Hello my loves, welcome to my channel. I am Kaz, this Tarot and Ink, and I have manifested you to be here because there are no kind of notifications, tagging and this, that and the other. I mean, I should remember to turn the tagging off, but I have specifically had a chat with Spirit and the universe and said, if you are watching this video, it is because you have manifested this, or rather I've manifested you to have this message because this is something that you need to hear. So we're going to be looking at the blessings coming into your life, and it's going to be a short, quick fire blessing. So, Spirit, Universe, Dad, hello, my friends, family, guides, everyone that I call to in spirit, give us this message. Oh, I feel tingly already. Cool. What is the blessing they need to hear? Yeah. Okay. If you are watching this message, yeah, it's exactly what I was already getting through. So, if you are watching this message, I already know that you have gone through some absolute shit. I'm sorry if you don't like swearing. It is just what's going to have to happen. Do I want? Yeah. So you have gone through some, like an absolute stinker of a year, or 2 years, or 3 years. I feel like the last year, specifically 3 years, you have just gone through it. You've gone through grief and bereavement. You've gone through massive transition. Some of you have moved house a couple of times. Some of you have, you've broken off broken up with someone, you've got a divorce, it's all of those major life changes, those movements, those feelings of when something happens and your heart is in your throat and it's like, why do I keep having to go through this crap? Why is this repeating on me all of the time? And I want to say to you, it doesn't. I mean, some things just suck. And some things are part of your transition. They're part of your, I'm seeing the card, it's not on this deck, it's another one that's about sacred contracts. It's about you leveling, and sometimes the universe does test us by, or at least I believe, in fact I know, I definitely know, the universe tests us to kind of go, is this genuinely what you want? Is X, Y, Z what you want? Is that person genuinely what you want? Or do you want more for yourself? Or do you want to achieve more, to have more, to live more, to be happy? I'm going to give you an example that keeps popping up in my head. So I was very much in love with this guy. It's a very long time ago. And I went to this reading. He's very, very, very well known, probably one of the top UK tarot readers. And I've had more than one reading from him. We get on really well. And he's an absolute sweetheart. And he did this reading for me, which laid out everything that I wanted in terms of here. He was like, yeah, you and this guy you'll get married, you'll have 2 kids, you'll have this, that, and the other. He's like, and this is that option. I genuinely looked at that reading and I felt it in my body before my mind worked in, where I was like, I'm not going to be happy. I knew I wouldn't be happy. And in my head, I was like, oh, but this is everything that I want. This is the kids, the marriage, this is that and the other. And I realized I was sacrificing a part of myself to achieve something that I thought would make me happy, and it didn't. And when everything was laid out, not in my head, but in front of me in terms of the cards, I was like, that's not the path I want. I didn't say it out loud, but he picked it up. And he was like, this is one path. He was like, because that partner, that person I was with, he was destined to do that. He was destined to have the marriage, the kids, to do all of that. And he has. he got straight after me, got married, had those kids, do all of those things. And I've seen it all. And I have so much love and respect, and whatever, if I bump into him, I give him a hug. There's no animosity. But I realized that wasn't the life that I wanted. And looking back, I am so glad I didn't pick that. I didn't try and force that situation. I didn't try and, push for that life, because I didn't. And I'm so glad I didn't, because I'd be deeply unhappy. And I hope everything I'm saying to you makes sense, because sometimes tarot shows us what we think we want, and it shows us an option. And it asks us, do you want that in your life? Do you genuinely want that? And I'm getting different parts for here. Like you've got the Tower, you've got the Death, you've got massive transitional arcanas with the Sun. But not the Sun. I'm going to throw the Sun in. Why not? I'm seeing it in my head. I said it. Whereas there's also this massive point of reflection. There's overthinking, which is here. You've got the Queen of Discs who is looking back at that kind of, that path that's bare. They're looking back at the desert on something that nothing is fruitful in. And you've got the Horns of Wisdom here, looking back and kind of going, is this what I want? And the Round, which is Aries, not moving forward. That's looking forward. Well, we have our world, that globe, in our hands, and we're saying, what is it that I want? And that's what the universe is asking you to do. And I understand that this whole reading is about blessings, and I'm going to tell you now in a second. But it's important to know where we've been and where we are right now. And you've got the science, which is the swords. It's about experimenting, it's about analytical, it's about overthinking. And there's like this feeling of, I want all of these things, but also I don't know how to get them, I don't know how to achieve them. Experimenting, it's you're kind of talking yourself out of both things. Like a clash kind of here. It's like, I want that loving relationship, I want kids, I want marriage, I want that career, I want all of that. And the other part of you is kind of going, actually, I want to be single. I want to live on my own. I want to do all of these other things. I want to travel the world. There's like an absolute clash. And you are going to get both. But you may not get it in the way that you anticipate. Because half the time, and I guarantee this, we can't always see where we're going. And that's kind of the point. That's how we manifest. You are the star. You are the alchemy. Here, you are the person that can thrive forward. That's why we've got the White of Wands. A White of Wands? No, Knight of Wands. Let's embrace that mistake. You know, and it is about calling in a truce to what's happened in the past. It's about calling in a truce. It's not necessarily peace, and it's not necessarily, you know, sitting in your shadow self and deep diving and being like, I'm going to unpick all of my childhood traumas or whatever that is. And I'm not making fun of any of that. Truce is about looking at the past and going, I did everything within my power that I could do at that time. I don't have control of what happened back then, but I have control of everything now. That's what truce is. It's about drawing a line in the sand and saying that trauma, all those things that happened previously, they don't define who I am. I define who I am, but I'm going to use that energy to move forward, to take another step forward, to live, to thrive, it's about being 1% happier, 1% better, quote unquote better, 1% more every single day, 1% in alignment every day. And you might not be able to do it every day, and that's fine. But it's about 1%. Honestly, if you know, we'll do really easy maths. If you're 1% happier every single day, if you cultivate a 1% of happiness every day, in 100 days, it's 100%. You know, just, I don't mean like it's complete, but you will feel so much better. If you do 1%, you know, in terms of like exercise, you do 1 minute of exercise every single day, increase that. What happens in 100 days? What happens in a year? You know, and I'm literally talking something minimal, like parking the car further away and walking a bit further into work, you know, for an extra minute. You're building, it's that consistency, it's that momentum. And the blessings that are coming in, you're going to meet them. And I feel like for some of you, it's different. It depends on where your priorities lie. And I feel like for some of you, you really need to get in touch with what your priorities are. And you can do, there's plenty of things that you can do, you know, on the internet, to look at what are my morals? What are the things that drive me forward every single day? One of mine is community. And that doesn't mean just being in a community. It's about attributing a service to a community. Like what I'm doing now, you as a collective, you don't have to listen. you have to take any of this. But it's me giving. This is part of my morals. It's me giving. And hopefully, you know, I'm doing a video or whatever else that I needed to hear 10 years ago or 5 years ago or whatever else. You know, you are moving forward. You are the alchemist. You're the person, the point of the alchemist is to take, you know, different things. If it's fire, if it's water, if it's spirit, if it's whatever, and create and manifest. That's what you are. So we're looking at things that are coming in. Oh, hello. Yeah. Yeah. There's a real emphasis on family. Yeah. Here, and then we got virtue at the bottom. So fortune is all about turning the wheel yourself. You can see the different aspects here. You can see the overthinking, the kind of spikes here. It's a different color. It's we're matching for the color for truce, but we're blending in a little bit of the swords here. You can see the different colors there, you know, and you're spinning that wheel. You are the snake of transformation right here. You are the crocodile of creativity, the monkey of playfulness, the sphinx of spiritual intelligence, whatever you want to attribute to. You're all of those aligned. You know, you've got more swords, clarity here. And you're the one creating that power. I'm really drawn to this sort of movement. You're the one spinning the wheel. And how you do that is looking at what you can control. What can you control? What can't you control? You're putting a line in the sand in terms of your past traumas, in terms of, you know, of how the universe or how the world or how whoever you believed in forced you to transform. If that's a tower moment, if that's a death or bereavement, that's part of that. You're drawing a line in it and saying, this doesn't define who I am. I define who I am. I continue to move forward. And for some of you, it does define a little bit in certain parts, but it's not about, it's about being the newest version of yourself every single day. It's about that 1% more, that 1% better, that 1%. And I'm saying better in terms of like better with quotations because you deem what that is. You have that measure. Then obviously we have gain. We have the Hierophant, which is really looking at the mastery of ourself as well with this. And you've got sort of the High Priestess blended in. Kind of here, you can see her face. She's not hiding away. I was like, do I have her out? No, I don't know. But this is a real Taurus card. This is, you know, the mastery of self. Who are the people that you can learn from? And I feel like for some of you, what's coming in are teachers, their guides, their lessons, their things. If you've always wanted to learn a language, you suddenly meet someone who you can practice with, who can train you. You suddenly get resources to, I don't know, go on Preply or whatever and take lessons, whether it's once a month or whatever, you know. There's a kind of joyfulness, a playfulness, and a thing of being like, okay, what is it do I want, and how do I continue to grow from that? And those people will come into your life, the people that you need. If you need people to help with your business, they'll come in. That's what the universe is bringing in. You need to meet it part way as well. And that is just about doing that 1% every single day. That's all it is. Nothing major. It's the consistency of the small actions. That's it. It's not rocket science, you know, and you don't burn yourself out then if you do a tiny thing every single day, whatever that is. You know, going on YouTube, for example, finding people with different experiences, listening to those, learning from those podcasts. The action can be liking, subscribing, all of that. That's an action. That's an exchange of energy. That's exactly what that is. You're telling the universe and the algorithm, to be fair, I really enjoyed learning from this person. I want more of that. That's an exchange of energy. And that's all it is when we talk about the 1%. That's it. Changes in family as well. I feel like there are people who have struggled as well. There's people that you've carried. Things start to get better for them. And the more you do that 1% for yourself, the more that action ripples. It's one of those things that's like when you suddenly decide to go to the gym 3 times a week or do that extra bit of exercise, that kind of impact like ripples. And then all of a sudden, you know, your brother, sister, child, mother, father, step parent, whatever, uncle, aunt, they want to chime in. They're like, oh, I really want to exercise. Let me join you. And some things are really nice in a community, you know, and having that little buddy. Like one of my best friends, we have a little study buddy thing. Yeah, this is what this is with Princess of Cups. This is about family. It's about the impact and the ripple effect as it comes in. And that's a lovely benefit that's coming into your life, that helps other people as well. And then you have gain. You have so much coming in. You have like every aspect of your life. If you can dream it, you can manifest it, because it's there. You can see it. And always say to the universe, I want this or more. I want this or higher. I want this or greater. You know, and really believe that you are worth that. Really believe that you have the value for that. Hopefully that makes sense. And then obviously you've got virtue, which is here, which is on the back of the deck. Yeah, always be humble. But you have a lot of greatness coming in. I think the main thing of this reading is like, just go out and meet it. Do that 1%, do that consistency. Look at what you can control and what you can't, and you will manifest everything in your life. But also the benefits that are coming in are a mixture of new opportunities in terms of work, of money. I'm getting for a lot of you it's learning and improving. There's love, there's family here. It's like an all-rounding blessing. Let's just have one more card. Yeah. So we have Medusa and the Shield. So we have being used as a weapon, being used to change tides, victim made monstrous. I feel like for some of you, you've really been marked as the difficult one, marked as the one who kind of is never enough or can't do anything right, or it's like that kind of thing. Medusa is just protecting herself. But people used her as a weapon. They made her monstrous. She wasn't. Things happened to her, and that doesn't make her a monster. Those of you who don't know the story, go back and have a look at Medusa as itself. But it's her as a shield. It's the impact that she has and the power that she has from her transformation is used by others, and that ripple effect and that effect further away, because it's used in the Battle of Troy and whichever else. So yeah, you are more powerful than what you deem. And there's a lot of really, really good stuff coming in for you. I keep wanting to touch the fortune. It's like, it'd be useless me sitting here and being like, the thing that's coming in immediately is love or money or whichever else. Like, it's all coming in. All of it is coming in. You need to raise yourself up and meet it. That 1% better. That's all it is, that 1%. I hope that makes sense. I'm going to leave it there. Yeah. Yes, I'm going to leave it there. I hope that makes sense. I hope you managed to get something from it, and I hope it's kind of like filled you up a little bit. If you enjoyed this reading, please like and subscribe. I can keep making more of these, and I'll keep making more of these little like flash ones. But yeah, I feel like as the first time, this was a good little check-in. This is what we do. Here's your actions, and expect all of the good stuff. Expect every aspect of your life to flourish. You'll be so different a year from now, 6 months, 8 months, a month's time. You'll start to see, do that 1% better, and you'll start to see how every area of your life just sort of starts to enrich. I'm seeing flowers as they like go from a bud to like opening up. So yes, I hope that helped. Thank you so much. Love and light. Not love and light, but yeah, love and all my love and light.